Alright, what's up y'all, it's LakerFan here. As you can see by the title of today's video, here to talk about the meta lockdown build in NBA 2K23. We have a full discussion from anything from 6'4" to 6'9", talking about all the height to speed ratios you're going to be getting, just everything that you could really need as a lockdown, and this video is your guide. Now, this is titled the meta lockdown build, but there's going to be multiple builds shown in today's video. I think more than anything in 2K, your style matters, and especially for a lockdown, and I want to tell you why. So, to put it very quickly, I just believe that locks and bigs go hand in hand when it comes to how they play, whether it's on Pro-Am for your lock and your power forward, aka your back end pick and roll D guy, or for stage, or 3v3 just in general for your on-ball lockdown and your big man. You have to go hand in hand with each other, and in my opinion, a build like this at 6'5" pairs very well for a tall big, where that tall big doesn't want to get as involved in pick and roll defense. He doesn't want to have to step up quite as much and utilize his lack of perimeter defense or lack of speed. But then he benefits off the size that he has for rebounding, also the size he has for rim protection and just interior defense and stopping the other big from just scoring in the paint on some BS buckets, pretty much, ones that really just come down to contested finishing. And like I said, that pairs absolute best with a small lock that can fight through screens, extremely fast, great pick dodger, great perimeter defense, stuff like that. Whereas, on the other end of things, you have maybe the style of a tall lock, who pairs with a smaller big man. You want to both be around 6'8", 6'9", you can switch everything, you're very versatile, yet you're not elite at anything. You're not an elite interior defender, you're not an elite perimeter defender, but you both have the extreme versatility to be able to pair off each other. So again, I think more than anything, your style and your teammate's style is what really determines the meta lockdown build for you. So trust, we absolutely will cover everybody's style in today's video, but we're going to start with this one right here, the 6'5", which I think is the best lockdown build just in general, just off its ability. It seems to be really dominant. We're going to talk about it, so I hope you all enjoy the video. If you do, feel free to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on the noties, all that good stuff. And I've been saying, let's get 1,000 likes in the first 24 hours, but bro, these videos are gonna be like, I've only seen one so far, don't be wrong. I've only seen the Jordan one, as I'm still recording these videos on the day of the Jordan release. But I just gotta say, that thing hit 1,500 likes in literally the first 3 hours. So if we could get this one to like 2,000 in the first 24 hours, I'd really appreciate that. But anyway, again, to get straight into this stuff, as you can see, 6'5", you're looking like pretty good as far as wingspan, weight, everything like that. You have 97 perimeter defense, which is actually exactly what you need for Hall of Fame clamps and everything to do with perimeter defense badges as well. So just keep that in mind. You only need 97 perimeter, you don't need 99. 99 steal, though, gets you Hall of Fame interceptor and Hall of Fame glove. You need that for Hall of Fame, and even for glove on gold, you need 95 steal. So, long story short, you absolutely want to have a build like this. If you're planning to be a fight-through lock, you're planning to really just clamp the mess out of guards, and you're just expecting a little bit of hedge D help from your big. And then real quick, to stay on the topic of defense, we're going to come to physicals real quick. You can see 95 speed at 6'5" is very good. If you go down to 6'4", you don't gain any speed, but you get the small like dribble animations, stuff like that, the ones that are guard locked. But again, I think, to be honest with you, if you plan to be a lockdown, I don't know how much dribbling you're going to do. You'll see once we start upgrading the build and stuff like that, but it's going to be very hard to be versatile. Like, to fill in these 3 categories up here and be like a complete player while still trying to be a true lockdown is going to be impossible. I'm telling y'all, like, it's not possible to touch up on all 4 categories at once. So you're going to have to cut out like one thing very heavy, maybe even 2 things pretty extensively. So anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward to the actual point of upgrading things and show you what the build looks like, because we have a lot of things to showcase in today's video. The 6'5", the 6'8", 7s, stuff like that, and just show like pretty much what they're capable of. Maybe I'll come back and show you the process of trying to determine what to upgrade and what not to upgrade, but you just have to trust me, like, it's going to be very hard to fill in multiple different categories. As you can see, this is a very like two-way sharp-ish build, and really all it has on the two-way part of it is just three-pointer. So literally, you're just there to be a spot up and a defender. If you want to be more than that, you're going to have to just not be a pure defender. There's no way you can have 99 steal, 97 prim D, and 95 speed and still expect to be able to like dribble the ball, dunk the ball really well. This right here is literally like the bread and butter for role-playing lockdowns that you're going to see in the stage, probably, in my opinion. I think 6'5" is going to be really good. There is a debate to maybe be made for like 6'6", I guess, but I don't think anything other than that. I think 6'5s are legit, because as you can see, even the wingspan droppage, so to say, of going down to 7 foot Yes, it makes it so your perimeter D max is only 97, but like I said, that's all you need. And it makes it so you can get 93 pointer as well, which gives you some really solid badges too. I think you get a pretty solid one at 91. I forget exactly what it was. I think it's Deadeye at gold, which as you can see is on silver right here. So if you want Deadeye on gold, I guess go for 91. It probably means you're going to be lacking something a little bit in the perimeter D or the steel, but either way, it's up to you once you get into the builder. This is the footage that I have, so it's all I can work with. Just keep in mind, bear with me. But anyway, like I said, that was the build that I was looking at. I want to take you to a very exotic build right here, I'll say. So this is listed at center, but it's the footage that I have of the 6'7" and what you're capable of at that height for defense, speed, all types of stuff like that. So I'm just going to showcase it to you guys and you'll see what I'm working with. But one tip that I want to give you guys as far as what you make for your lockdown: position matters as far as the minimum weight you can get on a build. So just keep that in mind. So if you try and make a 6'5" at, say, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, I don't know if you can even make a 6'5" power forward, probably not. But anyway, if you make a 6'5" at small forward or shooting guard, you're gonna have a higher minimum weight than the other like point guard build would. So being a point guard allows your minimum weight to go even lower. You potentially get more speed unlocked than you would have at a shooting guard or a small forward. Obviously with cons included with that, because you're still going to be a lower weight. That's literally all it's doing. Like I said, just unlocking a lower weight. That's all it is with positions. So just keep in mind with the 6'7" center, you may be locked into a heavier weight, so to say, anyway. But I think it's really cool that you can make a 6'7" center in the first place. And for someone like me who loves that undersized like center stuff, I think this is pretty cool. But here's a look at trying to just span things out between 3 different categories. This is like tough, man. I mean, I'm able to be a pretty elite finisher. Yes, I do understand that. And I have pretty solid playmaking, I would say. Like, this is 3 categories that are really, really good. 4 if you include the physicals, but you're losing shooting entirely. Now you could probably do something very similar to this though, by just taking away everything playmaking and putting it into your shooting, but it's a little bit harder to just cut out playmaking entirely. Like, to not have pass accuracy is going to be really, really tough. If you're someone though who really relies on spacing, your teammates are really, really bad potentially, and there's no way they're gonna be able to run point guard with you on a build that's gonna be clogging up the paint or just not spacing the court good enough, you're probably gonna have to upgrade 3, which is why I say that 6'5" or just a very one-dimensional two-way sharp is probably something you might have to go with if you're planning to be a very good spacing role player that's just gonna be there to play good defense and shoot the ball. Alright, now to come back to this footage at the beginning, we're going to talk about those heights that are kind of listed between 6'6" to 6'9". We've already talked about the 6'5". I think it's really elite. We're probably going to put that in the back burner now, but just keep in mind that it was 95 speed, 97 prim D, 99 steal at 6'5" is really, really good for sure. So we're going to be showcasing like pretty much just the minimum weights and max wingspans and stuff like that for each of those positions, etc. I mean, like, I'm going to be trying to manage it out to like what's most appealing, so to say, with all of those. But as you can see, like for 6'6", it's looking like 86 3-pointer. You're gonna have a little bit more limited in that aspect. I think 86 is a little bit tougher. And not to mention, like I said, speed at 6'5" was elite. It was 95 speed for being 6'5", whereas at 6'6" you have 91 speed. Now if you compare that though to 2K22 next gen, honestly, 91 speed at 6'6" is extremely good, and this is why I have a lot of hope for the lockdowns too, because my problem with last year was at like 6'7" you had like 82 speed, at 6'6" you had 88 speed, at 6'5" it was very similar though, it was like 93 speed. So what I'm seeing in this game is, like I said, the lockdown heights, like the ones that are in the intermediates, so to say, between like 6'5" and 6'9", are a lot better. So you can definitely keep up with those guards a whole lot better at these taller heights, which is why I also have hope for what I was saying earlier in the video, to be able to play sides defense, to have 2'6'8", 2'6'9", something like that. So anyway, again, just wanted to maybe showcase a couple little instances of showing what the 6'6" looked like. I gotta say, if there's one tip that I have on the builder, it's that weight does not impact like your speed very much at all. So you're gonna see 180 was the minimum, right? We're gonna up that weight quite a bit, all the way up until the point where we don't lose a speed. You can go up 14 pounds and not lose any speed, which in turn gives you more rebounding potential, stuff like that, obviously into your defense. I don't know how important that is to you if you're 6'6", but strength may be important too, potentially, just for body up animations and stuff like that. I gotta tell you guys, normally I go into every game thinking strength doesn't matter. For lockdowns, it doesn't matter. For the slashers, the only thing it matters for is the body up bumps down low on post-ups and resisting post-ups. Maybe screens. But in this game, I'm telling you, like, there is so much more of an emphasis point on strength, as far as like the fact that bully is a badge and it's tied to strength now. The fact that strength is tied to box out, it's tied to brick wall as well. There's so many things that strength just interacts with. So I absolutely recommend to upgrade strength on your like pure lockdowns. I mean, if you're making like a two-way shot or like a two-way guard, so to say, where you're gonna like play PG and play defense, I don't know if you're gonna be able to afford it, but it's gonna be tough if you're not with that. I mean, that's just how it is, if you ask me. But anyway, 6'6", upgraded weight, still has max speed that you would have at 6'6". 91 speed for being 6'6" is very, very good. Like I mentioned though, I was just doing a little bit of a compare and contrast between the heights as far as the speed goes, and as you can see, I go down to 6'4" right here too. I really want to show this because this is a very key emphasis point of what I was talking about. There's no perk to going down to 6'4" as far as gaining any physicals, gaining any perimeter defense at all, really. Yes, I guess you could maybe get more than 97, but who cares? You don't really need that, in my opinion. The only perk to this is that you get the small guard dribble moves and like animations, and maybe some more three-pointer potentially. But again, I don't know. I don't think you can afford to do that. I don't think you can afford to get good enough ball handling to even utilize that, because you're going to be lacking so bad in your defense. And at that point, you're not even a lockdown. You're like just pretty much a two-way guard who's going to be having like high 80s in every category, maybe. And like you're still skipping out on probably like a full category in like two things at least. Maybe one. So now here we have 6'7". We'll let this play out right here. As you can see, if you go down to the minimum weight and max wingspan for a 6'7", this is looking lethal, okay? I need to let you guys know the rebounding requirements that you're going to need to be able to get goal rebound chaser is 93 on at least one of the attributes. So you can easily upgrade your weight to that point and still manage to keep the same speed 100%. I don't know if I did it right here. I'm hoping that I went back to the weight and fiddled with it a little bit. Okay, see, so I was just being a little idiot. So anyway, just understand that that's probably very easy to do if you just manipulate your weight just a little bit. As you can see, at 6'7", you still have 97 perimeter defense, and you still have 99 steal. So the only thing that's lacking in comparison is pretty much your speed, which again, like I said, it's all going to come down to style. If you're someone who likes to fight through screens, I don't know if 87 speed is cutting it. However, 97 perimeter defense is still very good. So it's still possible for sure for 6'7" to play as like a fight through lock, to be an ego lock, whatever you want to call it. But what I love about the 6'7" and 6'8" is that you have elite rebounding. You have really good rebounding, really good shot blocking, really good interior defense, and you can even touch your weight up even more to get better interior D. So there's so many things that these 6'7" and 6'8" can do, and this is why I was saying I can't pigeonhole one meta lockdown build into just like what is the best, because there's so many good blocks and it just depends on your style too. So really think of it as like this: anything from 6'5" to 6'9" is probably pretty valid to play lockdown. It's just it has to be in the right style. All right, so right here now we have the 6'8". We're gonna go ahead and drop the weight on this a little bit, and you can see this still has 85 speed. I'm really liking the idea of 6'8" this year, man. They look so nice, really, really lethal. The only problem is the perimeter D is a little bit lower than everything listed before it. So you're not gonna be able to get Hall of Fame clamps. You're not gonna be able to get a couple other Hall of Fame badges. I forget what it was. Challenger, probably, as far as like the perimeter contests. So just keep that in mind. You also cannot get 99 steal either, as you can see. So like I said, 6'8", way more versatile. What's crazy about 6'8" too is if you don't make it at point guard, and if you make it at like, I think small forward or shooting guard or something like that, again, like I said, it forces your weight to be a little bit higher even at minimum. So I was seeing at like a small forward or a power forward, even if you were minimum weight, you could still get 99 rebounding on a 6'8", which was crazy to see. But again, really good speed though for a 6'8". Like last year, I think 6'8" had like, bro, I want to say they had like 78, 79 speed, something like that. Maybe I'm tripping. I believe the 6'9" metrics were like 77 speed. So, or maybe it was 78. I don't really remember. But either way, 6'8" looking really, really good as far as the versatility and size defense ability. I mean, and then 6'9", we're gonna go ahead and showcase real quick too. This is where I feel like the speed maybe gets to that point where you cannot fight through screens. 83 is not good enough to do that in my opinion. Same with 90 perimeter defense and 90 steal is also not good enough to do that. But this is elite versatility again, still, like I said. Now, I would definitely recommend with the weight, you probably want to up this at least to the point of being able to get goal rebound chaser. It's probably a very good idea to have 93 rebounding, but you have 99 block capabilities. You have really good interior defense capabilities. This right here could be the sauce if you really want to get into the nitty gritty and like really think about playing size defense with your teammate. if you guys are both 6'9", or maybe one guy's 6'8" and the other 6'9", or maybe you're both 6'8", whatever the case may be, I think tall locks are looking pretty good. They look really, really solid. Also, as far as the positional value of things, if you want to get into that, like I said, you can make a 6'7" center and you can make a 6'9" point guard. So as far as the rec heads and stuff like that, you're definitely going to see a little bit more of like position intertwining, where it's like really weird, stupid things for people who made like kind of outside the box builds. Like if you made a 6'9" point guard to play as the like undersized big man, so to say, or if you made a 6'7" center to play as like a lockdown, it's gonna be some weird stuff. You probably don't want to do that if you're someone who plays with like randoms, or not to say randoms, but people you're not familiar with, not friends with, or you're not on the mic and you don't play together super often, stuff like that. It's gonna be really weird, so probably try and stay away from that if you are a little bit worried about that. But either way, I mean, look at 6'9". They still have 83 speed, like I was saying earlier. I think something that's crazy is that you have 95 vertical, bro. You have 95 vert on a 6'9". Again, though, the problem, if we're being realistic with all of it, is that you're not gonna upgrade your vert all the way to 95 unless you're a pure lock. So just keep in mind, I know this builder looks so free roaming. It looks like, oh, I can have 82 3-pointer. I could have great ball handle. I could have great speed with ball, or decent speed with ball. It's not great, that's for sure. But like, oh, I could have 95 pass accuracy. I could look at the finishing. I could have 98 plus in everything. No, you can't. Listen, it's just, this is very, it gives you a lot of options, but you have to like pigeonhole yourself into a certain category that you want to be good at. If you want to be a pure lock, be a pure lock. Go straight into defense, and then whatever you need for offense. If you need to be a finisher and you're planning to be more of like a pick and roller for your teammate, and you're going to be like the screen guy and more of like a center on offense, but you could still be a lock on defense and play that side D that I'm talking about, absolutely go for that. That's probably what I'm planning to do. If you plan to be someone who's like a 6'7" and below, or like 6'5", something like that, where you're just gonna sit in the corner on offense and really not do anything, you're just waiting there with the Claymore badge going crazy, and you're gonna play like straight up just straps defense, put it on them, simple as that, and lock these guards who are gonna have this adrenaline boost that can't really go anywhere, then do that too. It's gonna be fun. It's just like I said, embrace your style, embrace what you really like to do on 2K as a lockdown. That's all I can say. I just wanted to showcase to you guys all the speed to height like ratios and the thresholds and stuff like that you're going to meet as far as badges go and stuff too, and just what to expect for your style. Alright, so I don't know where I left off at. I kind of was getting to the point of like wrapping the video up, but low-key what I want to do for you guys, one last thing in this video, is talk about the badge budgeting as far as this lockdown style build is going to be. Now, I already talked about badge budgeting at its core in another video if you want to check that out, but I'm just kind of trying to put you lockdowns on game as far as like what you're gonna have to do, what you're gonna have to expect to be an elite lock as far as what badges you do. So just to kind of recap a little bit from the old video, you are forced to put at least 10 points into tier 1 and tier 2 categories combined. As you're going to see, it forces you, as you can see right here, equip at least 10 points between tier 1 and tier 2 to be able to unlock tier 3. And in tier 3 is going to be blinders, deadeye, limitless range. Now here's the perk to being a lockdown, in my opinion. You don't need limitless range. You probably could use deadeye, but you don't need it. You probably could use blinders, but you don't need it. Agent 3, you don't need it at all. And here's the thing too, if you live in this tier 1, if you live in this tier 2, you're going to absolutely utilize badges that are extremely worth, like Claymore, Hall of Fame, easy. You could have Clutch Shooter and Comeback Kid at like decent levels at the very least. You could have Corner Specialist, maxed out. I put it on gold, but I'm going to change it back to Hall of Fame. I remember that 100%. Guard Up. People get like improper contest. You can utilize that really well. Again, I look through here and I'm like, what's even worth putting on? I don't know. Let's just not put anything on then if that's the case. Or maybe blinders is somewhat worth. But catch and shoot, gold, you got Green Machine in the tier 2 as well. But even these tier 2s aren't really worth. I mean, fatigue, we don't care about that. Space Creator, we don't care about that. I mean, look at this. Like, you can really utilize your shooting badges and put them into things that are extremely important. Now, what you're going to see me do right here, I actually do put Deadeye on silver, and I'm going to equip it as the core badge to be able to get 6 points back out of it, as you're going to see. I probably go right back into it, boom, equip core badge, back out. Be very careful of backing out once you equip the core badge, though. I've frustrated myself like crazy with that stuff. But anyway, I mean, honestly, having 22 shooting badges might be overload even for a lockdown, because as you're going to see, like, I mean, you could throw Corner Specialist to max, you could throw Guard Up to max, you could put like, I don't think Volume Shooter is worth at all to put on as a lockdown, but I still have 3 badge points left, and I have a lot of Hall of Fames. So I'm telling you guys, if you're a lock, live in this tier 1 category. You're really going to benefit off of that, in my opinion. And then obviously, like, catch and shoot is extremely important. So whatever your style is, whatever fits you, 100%, just go with it. But in my opinion, I think the people who are like role-playing lockdowns are really going to eat in this game. You're going to love this stuff, bro. And again, we'll get into like the finishing badges that we have. It's only 10 and it's really, really bad. Like, it doesn't look good at all. So just keep that in mind. But again, this build is meant to be a role player. You're going to anchor on bronze, you know, interior contest at a pretty decent level. Box out beast is also available even for people that have 25 rebounding. So that's another thing too. Like, chase down artist on 2, it's totally worth it. Rebound chaser is also free for, you know, 25 rebounding. So if you want this as well, perfectly fine. If you do upgrade your rebounding too, that's even more worth as well, obviously. So just keep that in mind. But anyway, as you can see, ankle braces, definitely worth in that tier 2. Everything else is kind of tough to say though. Like I said, pick dodger is going to depend on your style. I mean, like, if you want to put that on Hall of Fame, it's understandable for sure. I think something like Workhorse is not worth a tier 2 badge, but that's going to be tough to not have. Like, it's Hustler, essentially, for those who aren't aware. That's going to be tough to not have. I mean, like, Hustler was such a budget badge last year. You could always just put it on, like, bronze or silver and it'd be worth 2 points. Nah, bro, now in tier 2, it's going to be worth a ton. And also, keep in mind, I've mentioned this in other videos too, the tiering changes based on your build's height. So if you're 6'5", it could be entirely different than what's listed at 6'9" for your tiering. As in, like, let's say at a taller build, ankle braces is like tier 1 or something like that. Or maybe it's the other way around. Maybe for a shorter one, it's tier 1. I forget how that is, but it all just changes based on your build. But as you can see, like, tier 3 badges right here for locks on defense, it's looking tough. Like, you're really going to want a lot of defensive badges, which is why I was saying maybe you could budget a little bit more with the shooting. Maybe not upgrade your shooting quite as far. Don't even touch mid-range if you're planning to just be a spot-up role player. That's as simple as that, really. But yeah, I mean, like, if you look at the defensive badges, like clamps, challenger, glove, interceptor, they'd all be great to have, but to be able to get all of them on Hall of Fame, you're going to have like 30-something badge points, bro. And use one of them as your core badge, too, to be able to refund worth 8 points. But not to mention, still keep in mind, you can't just skip out on tier 1 and tier 2s. You have to have at least 10 points combined between these two categories before you can even unlock tier 3. So do the math. This is a very math-based builder, I'll tell you that much, because if you see 25 badge points, it means you still have to spend at least 10 right here, so that's really only 15 that you have left over. So just keep that in mind. We'll go ahead and show the finalized like version of this stuff just to give you some perspective. We can choose one more gold badge between glove and interceptor, or we could just put it on like higher points like this. As you can see, this is a very good example of what I was just talking about. Like, you can see I was very intrigued to try and get the Hall of Fame badge in one of these categories, and I was like, oh, what if I could just take chase down artist down to bronze? Well, check it out. Now it's locked. I can't equip those down below. It won't let me continue. By the way, if you think this is like a glitch or something like that, it's not gonna let you continue just because, like, oh, I tricked the game. I have 2 Hall of Fame badges now in tier 3. But like, it doesn't work like that. All right, so just keep that in mind. But yeah, as you can see, I had to put that back on. Then I was like, okay, well, gotta just settle for gold in one of these. And now you just don't have interceptor as a lockdown. So I'm telling you guys, tier 3 badges are extremely tough in this game. You're really gonna struggle to figure out what you want to put on. Also, like I said, bro, these 10 finishing badges were garbage. I can't figure out what to put on at all. Like, you got Aerial Wizard. You might as well just throw Aerial Wizard to like the highest level possible. I guess you could catch some lobs maybe. But I mean, Pro Touch, Acrobat, I don't know. It's kind of whatever. I guess you could core badge one of them. Like, it's just not good options. And again, like I said, yes, you have Posterizer, Slithery, and Limitless Takeoff as equipable badges, but like, you have to put 10 points. Like, check this out. This is what I'm talking about. You have to put 10 points in tier 1 and 2 combined, and you only have 10 points total. So you can't put Posterizer, Limitless Takeoff, and Slithery on. It just doesn't work like that. So I like this, though. It's very good for the builder balance. I think this is going to be a fun builder to play around with. It's gonna be some fun badge tiering lists too. Like, I'm really excited to like get into the value of badges and stuff like that, but it's gonna be a little bit more complicated. It's gonna be hard to really decipher because a lot of different builds will change. It's not the same for everybody, like I just said. So anyway, that's all for the video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, for to drop a like, sub if you're new, turn on noties, all that good stuff. Like I said in the intro, let's try this one to like 2,000 likes in the first 24 hours. That'd be fire. And hey, we're gonna continue to do these videos like daily. I'm talking, we're probably getting 3 videos out a day. I'm not gonna do much gameplay in the tester. I think it's worthless, to be completely honest with you. I'm trying to just get people on their builds and get them educated on this stuff before they really hop in there. This is one of the opportunities. Listen, when they asked me to fly out here, I was like, oh my god, this is so cool. I'm gonna have like the credibility of having seen this and digested it and deciphered it like a whole week in advance before the game even comes out and before you guys get your hands on the game. So I'm doing the dirty work for you guys. I'm trying to really get into the nitty-gritty stuff that saves you time when you get in there and saves you the failure of like making a bad build because you were too impatient and you just decided to make it and throw some VC on it when you didn't even know what in the world core badges were. You didn't even know how the tier 3ing stuff works either. You didn't even test the badges. You didn't even see if you could put them on. So then when you thought that you could put posterizer and slithery on your build, you come to find out you only have 10 points. You can't even freaking put them on for your build's entire lifespan. So again, I'm trying to bring these to you guys, and I'm trying to do it in a very quick fashion. We're trying to do 3 a day for 3 days in a row. 9 videos in 3 days. Big time. So anyway, stay tuned for more of those. Appreciate you guys. We're going to be talking about the point guards and how they're freaking dead. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. If you made it to the very end of the vid, put lock in the comments or put defense in the comments. Story Sports Man all the way through to the end. And like I said, stay tuned. Hope y'all enjoyed. Take it easy, man. Peace.